Next is Isabel Karp, who is from Madison Memorial High School. Her favorite subject is one you'd expect for a reciter of poetry, English literature. Isabel Karp.
Sonnet 29 by William Shakespeare. When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I all alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deaf heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself, and curse my fate, wishing me like to one more rich in hope, featured like him with friends possessed, desiring this man's art and that man's scope, with what I most enjoyed, contented least. Yet in these thoughts, myself almost despising, haply I think on thee and then my state, like to the lark at break of day arising from the sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gates. For thy sweet love remember, such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings.
Laura Radmer is next, from Brookfield Central High School, another lover of literature. In this case, I thought it was interesting. She said she likes English literature because it simultaneously mirrors reality and helps construct new ways in which to better it. Laura Radmer.
Ego by Denise DeHamel. I just didn't get it. Even with the teacher holding an orange, the earth, in one hand, and a lemon, the moon, in the other. Her favorite student, the sun, standing behind her with a flashlight. I just couldn't grasp it. This whole citrus universe, these bumpy planets revolving so slowly, no one could even see themselves moving. I used to think, if I could only concentrate hard enough, I could be the one person to feel what no one else could. Sense a small tug from the ground, a sky shift, the earth changing gears. Even though I was only one mini speck on a speck, even though I was merely a pinprick in one goosebump on the orange, I was sure then I was the most specially perceptive, perceptively sensitive. I was sure then my mother was the only mother to snap. The world doesn't revolve around you. The earth was fragile and mostly water, just the way the orange was mostly water if you peeled it, just the way I was mostly water if you peeled me. Looking back on that third grade science demonstration, I can understand why some people gave up on fame or religion or cures, especially those who have an understanding of the excruciating crawl of the world, who have a well-developed sense of spatial reasoning and the tininess that it is to be one of us. But not me. Even now, I wouldn't mind being God, the force who spins the planets the way I spin a globe, a basketball, a yo-yo. I wouldn't mind being that teacher who chooses the fruit, or that favorite kid who gives the moon its glow.
From Holman High School, next we have Becca Risch, who is also interested in language here because she says it's not math, science, or social studies.
The Way It Sometimes Is by Henry Taylor. At times, it is is like watching a face you have just met, trying to decide who it reminds you of. No one, surely, whom you ever hated or loved. But yes, somebody. Somebody. You watch the face as it turns and nods, showing you at certain angles. A curve of the lips, or a lift of the eyebrow. That is exactly right. And still, the lost face eludes you. Now this face is talking, and you hear a sound in the voice, the accent on certain words. Yes, a phrase you can barely recall sitting outside by a pool or a campfire, remarking a peculiar, recurring expression. 2 syllables, wasn't it? Doorknob? Bathroom? Shawcross? What the hell kind of word is shawcross? A name. Not the right one. A couple of syllables that could possibly be a little like something you may once have heard. So the talk drifts, and you drift, sneaking glances, pounding your brain. Days later, a face occurs to you. And yes, there is a resemblance. That odd word, though, or phrase, is gone. Must have been somebody else. Yes, it is like that at times. Something is maybe. And there are days when you can almost say what it is.
Rhinelander High School has another candidate for us, Melissa Scheff, whose favorite subject is biology. She's fascinated, she says, with the intricate workings of life at the cellular level.
Musical Moment by Virginia Hamilton Adair. Always the caravan of sound made us halt to admire the swinging and the swift go-by of beasts with enormous hooves and heads beating the earth or reared against the sky. Do not reread. I mean, glance ahead to see what has become of the colossal forms. Everything happened at the instant of passing. The hoofbeat, the whinny, the bells on the harness, the creak of the wheels, the monkey's fandango in double time over the elephant's back. When the marching was over, and we were free to go on, there was never before us a dungfall or a track on the road sands of any kind. Only the motion of footprints being made, crossing and recrossing the trampled mind.
Next. It is getting shorter, isn't it? Pull it up a little bit. And you can put it down again if you'd like. Anna Wolfs is next, our final contestant for this round from Heartland, Wisconsin, Arrowhead High School, who also loves English but with history. She says they go hand in hand because there's never a concrete answer which tells you so much about human nature. Anna Wolfs.
What You Have to Get Over by Dick Allen. Stumps railroad tracks, early sicknesses, the blue one especially. Your first love rounding a corner, that snowy minefield. Whether you step lightly or heavily, you have to get over to that tree line, 100 yards in the distance before evening falls, letting no one see you wend your way. That wonderful, old-fashioned word wend, meaning to proceed, to journey, to travel from one place to another, as from bed to breakfast, breakfast to imbecile work. You have to get over your resentments. The sun in the morning and the moon at night. All those shadows of yourself you left behind on odd little tables. Tote that barge! Lift that bale! You have to cross that river, jump that hedge, surmount that slogan, crawl over this ego or that eros, then hoist yourself up onto that yonder mountain. Another old-fashioned word, yonder, meaning that indicated place, somewhere generally seen or just beyond sight. If you would recover, you have to get over the shattered autos in the backwoods lot to that bridge in the darkness where the sentinels stand, guarding the border with their half-slung rifles, warned of the likes of you.